Hey howdy hey. It has been a while since I've done anything on this channel. And for good reason. Stand by as I double check audio here. Okay, so that is working right there, but the question is the Fortnite audio coming through? It seems like it might be bugged again. It seems to happen every time there is a major update. Stand by. Yeah, I'm just going to fall to my doom right here as I try and figure out what is going wrong. Okay, well that's back. Okay, so did that come through? No, it doesn't. Too bad you can't just refresh it. You sure like to mess this part up. That means I have to delete this and create it anew. Audio capture application. Fortnite 7, because we've done this 7 times. Doesn't seem to be coming through. Definitely not coming through. I beg your pardon. Oh, not enough. It worked. Okay. Oh, I'm on build. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I need to come over here and test in some quiet. Okay, so Fortnite is trying to grab audio. But it's not coming through because right now it is, not sure what. As usual, I should have tested this before I started, but some of these things just behave differently when I press record, so this is one of those things where it continually causes problems. And I keep forgetting what the solution is. I'm taking a time also to figure this out this way because, you know, there isn't too much pressure to try and rush through this. No stories to be told right now, right yet. Okay, so it says it's active. Ooh, but it doesn't seem to be... Oh, it shows active, but it shows no input. Which does raise a question. Is that related to OBS, or is it related to the game? Don't know. Got an idea. Let me try this. Okay, that was a little bit of a jump right there. But I wanted to see if it would operate again. No, it is not. Hey, greetings there, Wolfie. How you doing? How's the end of Friday and the start of your Saturday been going? Well, it seems like typical, this is not going to function. So that means that I'm going to be going on to desktop audio, which is not preferred. Not preferred because it does indeed cause routine problems for me. And one of those is that Silverado starts to echo, so we're just going to quiet Silverado down for the time being. It's not super critical to these streams anyway, so it's not like much is lost. Okay, so now we got everything up and operational again. Now, the stream officially begins from this point. We're starting to get some more snow up here in Alaska. It is nice, lovely. And right now it's also the point of where it's a little slippery because we're starting to get a layer of ice from a couple of warm days. So right now trying to drive on the Alaskan road system is a little bit more risky right now than it typically would be. Thankfully, I was in the clear driving back, but I did see an awful lot of traffic. And that was on one of the other roads. And I don't know what transpired. All I know is that it didn't look too good. Hopefully, it wasn't anything fatal. But I also realized that accidents like that are no joke. What a horrifying sight. Oh, I hate this art style. Good thing it's not going to be around for too terribly long. I was kind of hoping it would be done before we'd start cracking open the Fortnite streams again. But that was not meant to be. Well, I could have made it the case. I could have just held off for a little bit longer. But yeah, I wanted to get this started because next week is when I actually wanted to get it operational. So this is our reintroduction to these streams. Man, these things are ugly. Did I ever watch the movie 30 Days of Night? I can safely say no, and I have never heard of that story before. Which is not surprising. I have not heard, oh, that guy's got chainsaw. Oh, I want that. I wasn't going to survive that anyway. It's first round, first real player. It wasn't going to go well anyway. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, I still have, this is my splash screen, huh? I should change that. Yeah, 30 Days of Night. That is, ugh. Oh, that is a horrible looking dog. Skip that. But I've not heard of that story before. And there's been many stories I've never heard before. And I am surprised though. When I first went to college, I found out that my knowledge of films out there was not even 10% of what other people were familiar with. And I went through a lot of movies at college, getting up to date on the culture, and it was indeed intriguing. I found it fascinating for some of the films, and some of them really left an awful taste in my mouth. There was one movie that I remember seeing with guys at college, and I was enthralled with it. It was great. And I looked around and nobody was paying attention. Everyone was looking at their phones. They would come and go. They were getting snacks. They couldn't care less about the story. Well, as it turned out, a few days later, we saw another movie. And they were enthralled with it. And I was not. Now, for me, I'm drawn to epic stories. I'm drawn to meaningful tales that share a core moral or value that we can learn from and get to see the illustration kind of before our eyes in that sense. Where's the Avatar one? There we go. I like this one better. That was a lot of effort for nothing. It's kind of a scary movie, not huge into horror, but it's Alaska. If it's horror, then I avoid it, like the plague. But yeah, so in that sense, I'm not surprised I haven't heard of it. There are some people that are really big into horror. I'm not so much. There's a very, very small number of them that I will watch, but for the most part, I avoid it because I like to remember that darkness does not win. In horror, the devil wins, even if it's nothing more than fear. So I avoid it primarily because it's a faith issue for me. Now, I know some people that are Christians that they don't have a problem with it. They're able to approach the darkness and leave unscathed. I am no such person. Now, I learned early on in my life that there are some things that you are to be afraid of. And maybe it was that realization that there is real things to be scared of. I'm not going to be like the big tough guy and say, oh, I feared absolutely nothing. I have seen things that the strongest man in the world would be unable to deal with it. And that sobered me up. Thankfully, that happened early on in my life. Some people don't learn that until they've encountered it in their older age, and then they start to panic. Or, correction, they get themselves hurt, and then they start to panic. Okay, what is going on here? Things just glitched for me a little bit. Reposition this because it is causing me a few issues. There we go. Or we're just going to fall here for just a moment. So I want to double check this. Okay, what is going on here? Things just glitched for me a little bit. Or we're just going to fall here for just a moment. Okay, good. It is operational again. I was afraid that the audio died on me again because that has happened before. Something that has to do with a video card in whenever there is recent updates for this game in particular. Oh, he left this. Let's go and return it to him. That's a bot. Golly, ridiculous bots. What are your thoughts on old school scary movies like The Thing from John Carpenter? Have you ever watched that one? I've not. So I mentioned that there are some things that I believe are truly there have been some things that have scared me, and I don't have a problem saying that. It's hard to be able to convey what some of those things are. Some of them I mentioned to people in private, whatnot. I don't tell them on stream, but there is one that I think about. And it has to do, not necessarily with one of my stories, it has to do with a story from a guy that I was talking about. Okay, just a second. Come on, buddy. Ah, phooey. Well, that wasn't going to work anyway. So there's some stories out there. Some stories where I think there are really horrible, dangerous things that take place. One of the movies I can watch that is considered horror-like, or at least was when early on, is Jaws. Because it's a very realistic sort of thing. It's something that could happen, well, it has happened in many ways. It deals with something that is in the real world. I don't have a problem with things where it deals with a monstrous sort of creature. I do get to have a problem when it deals with something that's spiritual. Spiritual is where I draw the line for it, in part because spiritual things we are protected from in the faith. There was some missionaries that were traveling in Africa. I believe it was the Congo, and they came to a place where they saw magic being performed. Their presence there alone changed that whole area. Magic could no longer be done. And it caused the witch doctor to freak out, and he ran from the place. All they did was reside in the area. And the presence of having the light in the darkness was enough to cause the darkness to run in terror. See, there's one thing that, well, that's one thing you don't really hear about a whole lot. Darkness flees from the light. Light does not flee from the darkness. I don't want to be giving darkness power over myself. Now, there's some stories I will listen to. Some stories I will watch. But when it comes to things that have to do with something demonic or spiritual, I have to be very careful with that, because I don't want the darkness to rule over me. Now, there are some stories that kind of are right on the edge. One of those stories is actually a story I've been trying to write, or at least, well, like I said, trying to write over the last couple of years. And it's not a true horror story. It's an adventure suspense sort of story, but I realized as I was writing it that it had the ability to create some of those horror elements. And so I stopped writing it, because I needed to know that there was a way to make sure that the light always shone and defeated the darkness. I didn't want the darkness to have any sort of power. I tried telling that to a friend, and he took quite the opposite approach. I'm not here to necessarily say that it's the only way to approach it, but it's more just a reminder. Oh, gravity zone. Ooh, nice. Someone's nearby. Okay, maybe not so nearby. I put the thing in 30 days of night on the safe list. You might like them. I have to check those out. Whoa, that thing would not fire again. Didn't realize what shotgun I had. My bad. Yeah, no big surprise. It'll take me a while to get back into the saddle again. Not spiritual evil. There's one story that I know many people have been big fans of. And there's one that... So there's one story that I remember for over a decade being told. Well, actually a decade and a half from the moment that it first got announced. There were people that were raving about Stranger Things. And for the first season, I didn't know what to make of it. I thought that there were some interesting elements, but I was deeply troubled by a lot of the things that I saw in there. And I couldn't figure out why. Well, it led me down the path of trying to understand the world of suspense and horror. And then I started to realize why it troubled me so much. In people's fear, they were turning towards evil to control it. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you are... okay, Okay, we're going to use an example from as if it was in our real world. Let's say, for example, you go down the street and you look up, and in the shadows, you see a grotesque face looking out at you. It snarls and laughs as it disappears. And you feel chilled and deeply troubled. And you start noticing that you are experiencing this presence appearing again and again. Then it's just like there, every now and again. You look up and you see it just in the distance watching you. That'd be very unnerving. And the reason why I told that story is because I actually know somebody who was experiencing that. And what happened when he was experiencing it? He started thinking that he needed to seek out the some sort of magic or spell to help prevent it from causing him trouble. He didn't think about the fact that this was demonic and he needed a spiritual solution. Stranger Things troubles me because they're dealing with something that's demonic in the guise of it being almost sciencey. And thus it's creating a culture of people that are starting to... Uh-oh. Boy, that thing is a slow fire. It's creating a culture that is starting to think that science and magic are kind of one and the same. And I definitely take issue with that. Thing is currently on YouTube. Ah, duly noted. Probably have to take a check on that. Stranger Things went meh for me. I agree, most of Netflix is evil. It is indeed an intriguing platform. There's a lot of things I take issue with on Netflix. It keeps getting worse as time goes on. When Cuties came out, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm never buying this again. Only things I've seen on Netflix is through other people's accounts, but I refuse to give them any money again because of that. Ooh, interesting. Where am I supposed to go for this challenge? Am I supposed to go up there? Nah, not worth it. I never was a fan of The Simpsons. I know there's some people that absolutely love it. I don't like it because it's humiliating for the father figure. And for me, I'm just so over all of that sort of stuff in media. So while it does have some funny elements, and I will not discount that, I just don't like the constant beat down of fathers that has been taking place in our culture. Switching topics, I ended up reading Romans this week. Oh, excellent. How'd that go? By the way, these are casual streams, so feel free if you want to, Wolf, at any time to jump into the chat. I'm in the game area if you so desire. Quick. E-marker. What the? Okay, wow, that guy's got good accuracy. Blech. Man, that did not look tasty. Golly. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was very close. Use a storm. Ah, phooey. That's an interesting storm line there. Did not see that. You enjoyed it. Excellent. It can be a tough one. I know there's some people, they read it and it can be pretty heavy, but it also ends up being encouraging as you go further on. There's a lot of parts of scripture that people have stopped reading these days. And it's a real shame, honestly. I've started to try and crack open some passages back in that I haven't read in a long time. It is amazing how many things are actually addressed that many times in our culture we're left confused and thinking, well, did the Bible ever talk about this? And then you read it several times and you're like, oh, wait a minute, it does talk about this. And sometimes you still are confused. For me, at least, it's becoming a little bit more clear in some areas that were very confusing to me not just a few months ago. Chapter finale in 7 hours. Wait, 7 hours, or is that? No, that's days. Never mind. There's a couple of folks I know that are in different stages of reading the scriptures again. And there's some folks that are saying, oh, well, I'm not, I just want to stick to the happy passages. And it's like, well, those can be helpful. They can be encouraging, but you definitely need a balance. If you don't know if something's wrong, then many times you won't even address it. And the New Testament has a good balance, I think. At times it can feel a little overwhelming when you stick with just the Old Testament. Even so, there's still a lot of hopeful elements inside of the Old Testament. It's just that it takes a little bit more reading to cover it, whereas in the New Testament, it's consolidated and a little bit easier to see. And you get to see kind of the culmination of many things in the Old Testament. And so you get that benefit, whereas people back in the olden days did not have that benefit. That's a weird looking island. Two docks. No building. Where's the logic? I always like to see logic in stories and games. Sometimes I find it more enjoyable just to see how people are keeping logic in the story than sometimes the actual narrative. It is not something that people put a lot of stock into, unfortunately. Darn, I'm still on build. I completely forgot that. Fishing rod. What have we got in here? These days? Yeah, fishy, fishy, fishy. I'm getting fished. No, nothing really special here. Hey, greetings there, Adam. bluefish again. I feel like fishing needs to be changed in this game. Oh well. What is that sign? Donuts outlawed. Feel like that's something RFK would be putting out there. Oh, a lot of good items around here. Kind of hoping I'd find a chainsaw around here by now. Not a lot of players either. Where is everybody? Don't have permissions on Discord. What the? Let me take a quick look at that. You should have that as a ability. Thanks for the heads up on that. What is happening? Okay, so it says that you should have oh, here we go. Oh, that's right. All right. There, just changed it. You should have the ability now to unmute. Let's see here. They've changed this a little bit here. I'm gonna try leaving the call and then come back. I think maybe it will refresh it, because you should have access at this point. Okay. Move the character off to the side there. So right now it does say that you have the role. Maybe I need to change something in the setting of this area. Permissions. Alpha, able to connect and able to speak. Okay, you should. I'm going to try and move you around here. Okay, might want to double check the microphone, because it says that you have access there. Discord is getting unfortunately a lot more confusing these days. I wonder what's the cause of it. Three-headed fish? What did that do? Inspect. Zero. Oh, the dash thing. Okay. Don't need to worry about that. Try and reboot Discord. Yeah, that might do it. There was a while back that I was having some problems with connecting. I wonder if this is related to the same thing. Huh. Still is showing muted. have a vehicle. I'll just park right here in the middle of this rock here and double check once more. Well, triple check at this point. More options. Permission shows it as cleared. Open. Okay, I got another idea. Let me just, okay, I'll check this. And if this doesn't work, then I have one more solution. Okay, here's the other solution. Just a second. Okay, we're in the casual lobby. So hopefully, this will work over here. No. Should be just in the casual lobby. Casual lobby should be where it works. Oh, timber. Still says muted. Let's double check that. So I just refreshed those things. Let's give that another go. Okay, you know, I'm going to close down Discord on my side and see if that might be the problem. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, silly Discord. I wonder if it's an update that took place. Very well might be. Okay, so it shows everything here. Let me just double check that the alterations took place. Roles. Okay, this time it actually did keep. So initially, so I changed you so you had the ability to speak, and then I double checked it and it had erased it. So I just rechecked it, and you should have that permission at this point.
There we go.
Huzzah! Okay, so it was on my side. I had to restart it.
Yeah, Discord's getting strange in the sense of like, just like it feels like it used to be such a simple thing, and now there's so much more to it, you know?
Yeah, they've not been doing very good updates in my personal opinion.
I think it's because it's owned by Microsoft now, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the whole ownership structure is of Discord, but I would not be surprised. It seems like everything is just becoming one big conglomeration.
Right.
So what was your thoughts on Romans?
It was, well, the thing about it was, you know, I liked it because it was broad and encompassing, but it didn't. Sometimes when I read a chapter, it really resonates with me, and I enjoyed it, but it was kind of like I was talking to Christina about too, and she's like, yeah, that's like one of the ones that everyone recommends you read, just because it, you know, kind of gives the whole message. But it didn't. Sometimes I'll read a chapter and I'll stop and I'll be like, wow. And this one, it was like, yeah, like I know these things, but it wasn't. I mean, I shouldn't say enlightening. It was enjoyable, like, to say it nicely, or like not nicely, just it was enjoyable. I enjoyed reading it.
Indeed.
So.
Oh, greetings there, Breath of Edits. I just came from school. Gaiman also, yeah, it's not too terribly common these days. This is a second attempt to try and, well, I'm doing it for the holiday season, then I go back to just the art and so forth. How you doing? No, I can concur with that about Romans. There's a lot of people that I know they'll say like, "Oh, Romans is my favorite book," or "John is my favorite book," or things like that. And I'm not a big fan of saying that a book is my favorite or not. It's like, which one is inspiring to you right now? Because each one of them is going to have a different level of importance based upon the current walk that you're in.
I agree completely. It's like, it's how much does it resonate with you in that moment? And it did. I can't say it didn't. Like, it fell on deaf ears or anything. Like, it was a good reiteration of things. But I don't know. It spawned me to ask more questions about things, and I discovered, or I guess it's more like tales, because it inspired me to ask what Jesus's life was like as a child. And obviously there's nothing in the canon about it, but do you know of some of the stories that were told about his life as a child?
I know a couple of I know the what's written about in the Gospels. So I know that, like, when he amazed the religious leaders even as a child, or like the moment that he was in his father's house and his parents were starting to realize that there's something very different about this child. Those are the ones that I think of.
Like, there was the story. I mean, like, I say story, but there was a story about how he turned clay birds and they gave him life and they flew away. Have you heard that one?
That one sounds like it might come from one of the not from scripture necessarily.
No, not scripture, but it's the book. It was, what is it? It was called I want to say the Juvenile Texts of Thomas, maybe. Like, I'm probably butchering that because I was reading it like just by. And I don't think it's the same Thomas either, which is strange. But and then there was also the story where when he was working with his dad, and the piece of wood was too short and he stretched it.
Yeah, no, those ones I tend to avoid those stories because there's a lot of false gospels that have come out for things like that. A lot of them, they start out as like with good intentions. They'll be like a passed down story, but then you find out that the story doesn't have has been told so many times that it's gotten turned around or twisted. And those ones in particular, I view in that sort of way. Oh, darn, that guy got me hard. Right now there's like a resurgence of the false gospels out there. I remember
the Gnostic and all.
Yeah. I remember hearing about them growing up and thinking, well, that's weird. If they've only recently started being discovered again, well, then isn't that kind of proof that they're kind of inaccurate? And people are like, oh no, it's based upon an account that we read, and then it's just been pieced together again. And so it sounds like there is truth behind it, but then it doesn't quite compare to the rest of the Gospels. That's one of the ways that when the Bible came together, the religious men at the time were looking at based upon which one actually can we verify based upon the testimony of people that have been just recently passed on, or based upon other scripture. Now, there are some that are within that gray area, ones that we believe should be in there, but there's some reasons also believe that there is a little bit of doubt in it as well. Those we know of as the Apocrypha. Now, I'm on the fence about those. I think the Book of Enoch is one that we should take into more consideration, and it's not in there. It's not in the Bible, but it is in the Ethiopian. I think that there's some other areas in that, some other Old Testament books that were kind of written off that should be in there as well. But there's some good reason to kind of doubt that. So I'm on the fence because I don't have the knowledge or the wisdom to be able to see what the early church fathers did. But yeah, so when it comes to the stories of Jesus as a child, I tend to avoid those ones, even though there's sometimes good intentions behind them, because it can sometimes muddy, well, not sometimes, many times it can muddy our perception of what the gospel is supposed to be about.
Very, very true. And I agree with you.
There's just recently we read so I've been going to 2 church services throughout the week. In one of them, we were talking about when Jesus is restoring vision to people. In the first one, he uses his spit to help the person to see. And it feels really weird in that sense. Like, why did he spit on him? Well, you find out from history that spit was actually considered a medicinal treatment, because they saw that spit actually did have a very unique effect on things. And nowadays we just think, oh, that's gross, you spit on something. But there's a lot of things in our spit that actually is designed to help protect our bodies. And so the ancients looked at that and they said, oh, look, there is some sort of healing process that can happen with that. So they would use spit as a way to purify or to help heal. And so in the scriptures, Jesus uses spit at one time and the person is healed. And then the next time he spits, but the person only slightly can see. And then he puts his fingers onto his eyes and then he can see. Then the third time, he just touches him and he can see. It's a progression of showing this is helping the people of the time to see, I'm using your methods to begin with, and I can make it work where you can't make it work. And then it just shows that, no, it's just my touch that can do it. It's me as a being that can do this, not any sort of magic or any sort of tradition, things like that. And it's a very fascinating sort of story, that the way that it was told. So I found that inspiring. But things like that usually come about by reading the scriptures kind of back to back, and you're like, oh, look, there's this actual progression that takes place.
That wasn't in Romans, was it? That was in I think
that was in the 4 Gospels. It happens a couple of times, and then if you draw it out like chronologically, then it's like, oh wow, this happened like 1, 2, and then 3. Yesterday we were reading about Mark, which is when that subject came up.
Interesting.
So the Gospel of Matthew is Matthew, Mark, and Luke were written earlier, and then the Gospel of John, we believe, was written by John as a response to when he started hearing heresies that were happening, and people started to twist the words of the apostles, and so then he wrote it as like a response to that, to help offer clarification. I really do wish, though, because there's an area, I don't remember which book of the Bible it's in, but it mentions that if all the works of Jesus were to be recorded, there wouldn't be books in the world to be able to house them all. Of course, that was back in the ancient times. Now we can put the entire gospel onto the surface of an eraser. So there is technically space to be able to write them. But I wish we had that so we could have a full picture of it. but I think that maybe we were given a limited one very intentionally, so we would have to keep seeking God in spirit to help continue our growth.
I hear you. Well, don't let me. I feel like I'm just distracting you from your stream. Like, I can just hang out.
This is called casual for a reason. I'm not trying to get into like the big leagues. I thought I had actually pressed the button because I'm so used to it. Like, this is usually when the person that would be like my duo in this would say, "Hey, you forgot to click the button," because I do that all the time. If I wasn't chatting with you, I would be telling a story and I would be distracting myself. You know me by now.
Gotcha. Yeah. Ended up pulling the trigger and buying I was telling you I was gonna just buy a graphics card, and actually went and bought a whole new system.
Oh, very nice. How's it operating?
So, well, it'll be delivered Wednesday, because the thing I'm using right now it can barely. I don't know. I was working on a project today, and it was terrible. Yeah, a project that should have taken like 3 hours ended up taking 6 because it crashed 4 times, and I was like, this can't be.
Dang. I was trying to. I opened up After Effects. I mentioned the other day. I opened up for the first time in a while, and I immediately regretted it. Well, today I had to open it up again because I was like, oh darn, I have to do some green screening for a video. And oh my goodness, the immediate moment that I opened up the application, it wrote 60 gigabytes worth of data into the cache, and I had to go and delete it immediately because it started seizing up the computer immediately. And so then I finally had to close down After Effects and go back to DaVinci Resolve to do it, because I just kept having problems, and I don't have a whole lot of space on the machine.
It's interesting. I didn't realize it, like, to get like real techie with you. I guess like in the past like 5 or 10 years, they've kind of switched over, like they had like a hard drive was like a SATA drive, like it used to be IDE, and then it was like a SATA drive, and now they have those on board, like straight through the same things that your graphics cards connect to.
Oh yeah, like, the motherboard. What are those things called? They're like flash memory or something like that.
Yeah, it's so new that like I was reading about it, and it's not like committed to my memory yet. And I was like, they can't be that much faster, I'm like, is it really like worth it? And I was looking at the speeds, and I'm like, holy smokes, this is like a different world. And I'm very curious, because After Effects is kind of known to be kind of like a chunky program, like very like terrible,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that this new system will solve that. So I don't know. I'm very skeptical, but like it was literally at the point where I'm like, I can't use this system. I gotta fix it.
Well, hopefully you have some good success with that. I will give one warning. I don't remember the name of those things. And while they are incredibly fast, be very careful with the recent version of Windows 11. They made an update, and it's actually been frying those. So just make sure that that everything's good to go before you like try and do anything difficult for it. Because this update that caused that problem happened start of November, I believe. And I don't know if they... I can only assume that they did an update to that, because that's something you don't want to have, going on like that for too terribly long.
Right, yeah. No, I did not hear that. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Thanks for the heads up. It's the one cool thing, though, buying this system, like, for whatever reason, like I already have like a plan for Creative Cloud, and I guess I don't know if there's no way it can be for the whole year, but it said like Creative Cloud included complimentary, and I'm like, there's no
really
way. Like yeah, I bought the machine on iBuyPower, and I'm thinking there's no way they can. It has to be just a 1 month. We'll see what happens, but like I don't know.
If that's really the
that was
case, then
wild.
yeah, I hope that
That was
that's really the
that was
case, then
wild.
yeah, I hope that
Well,
that would be
yeah, I
great.
mean, if it's for the whole year, that's like, that's like $600. Like that's a lot of
Yeah,
cheddar, as they say. So
that'd be a really
or
good
over
deal.
$600. Yeah, and maybe it's a Black Friday thing they're doing, or I don't know, but hey, it works. It works for me. If it's for the whole year, I'm gonna love that. But we'll see. I'm kind of skeptical. I'm a very skeptical person on most things.
Being skeptical is not bad. It allows you to avoid some problems that other people maybe would not be so careful around.
Yeah. So also back to what I was saying before, with those movies. The Thing is definitely not spiritual. Like there's no way, like it doesn't fall anywhere in there. The 30 Days a Night, like that. I mean, it's not spiritual. It's scary. Like it's got like monsters or whatever. But I don't know. It's both of them. I think you would enjoy the 30 Days of Night. Every time I watch it, I think of you being up there in Alaska because I guess there's like it's about some town up in Alaska that I guess like northern Alaska where supposedly they have 30 days of night during like the winter or something.
Yeah, I know that place. It that would be probably Uktiavik, or Barrow is what other people would know it as. There's other communities that are within that area, but that's like the most populated one.
This story, I think it's like about like some like kind of like small town or whatever, and it kind of has a like you ever watch The Goonies? Is that in?
Nah, I've heard people talk about it. I've never seen it. It was on my list of things to watch, but for whatever reason, just never got around to it.
I think that was one of the ones that just kind of like hit at the right time for everyone. Like I've rewatched it and it's a good, it's fun. It's like whatever, but it's not like I think everyone kind of hypes it up a little more than it deserves. But the Thing is definitely like it's kind of like cheesy. It's like from I think the 80s. And I think I remember watching it when I was like very young and like being kind of like scared by it. So maybe it holds like a special place for me. But it's definitely worth watching. Like
probably have to give all those a watch. I have a couple of days off during the holidays, and so put down my list of things to check out.
Yeah, Christina's sister's coming up next week, so we're kind of skipping working on the house next week. But I don't know, and I'm kind of good. I guess I gotta email the client and tell them that I got that new PC on the way. So I think the next couple days are going to be kind of like just chill.
Yeah. Hopefully it's always good to kind of get to see the power of a new PC really start to kind of pay off the investment.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, should I just like you remember I was like, I'm just gonna get a new GPU and like upgrade the hard drive, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, for a couple bucks more, like this, I think will kind of protect me for at least like ever so years. Whereas like the other way, I was kind of chasing my like trying to fix something. It would never be. Because man, the project I worked on this week, it was like a real text heavy, and for whatever reason, After Effects is terrible at it. It's so terrible. Like I'm like, why am I like wasting so much time doing this when it was like painful. Like it was something that should have been a fun project was like painful, because like I don't like when you play something in After Effects too, it kind of like it'll play for you, but it never plays in real time. It kind of like gets like the lag, and it's just like, man, it's hard to hit like the beats and. So,
what sort of tech stuff were you trying to do?
It was a lyric video. I actually did made a whole album. So But the thing is that was mine, and then there was another project that I'm working on, another person. But that's the text stuff. It was simple. It was just like lyrics, like to a song, rolling up on screen. There was nothing. There was the layer. There was probably like 12 layers in the comp. Like nothing crazy. Like not 4K, not like glows, not like blurs, not anything going on. But it was a full lyric to a song, so it was like a kind of like a long file, I guess. Like as far as length, but it was unexcusable how terrible it was running. Terrible.
That's
Couldn't do it.
really unfortunate.
And once again, it could be because my computer is pretty old. Like it needed upgraded years ago. But.
Have you so recently there's a couple of text things that I used to do in After Effects all the time. Within the last year, I've finally been able to figure out how to do that stuff. Oh, come on. Come on, get away from me, buddy. Wrong way. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, I messed that up severely. I'm not good with the weapon set in this game right now.
I should get this game. It looks fun. I need to get this game.
It's got its strengths. It continues to be popular. Man, that guy's building a lot. It drove me crazy the first time I tried it. It wasn't until the gimmicks came along that I finally had fun with it.
Are you using like a controller or like a keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard is the only way I can play. I tried controllers. My thumbs ached so much.
Do most people play Fortnite with controllers or keyboard?
I think most of them do use controllers. There is a growing number of people that use the mouse and keyboard. You have to approach it in just like it's kind of a slapstick humor. You can't take it too seriously. It's not like other more competitive games, but yeah, if you do get it, then we do play this on the weekends during the holiday season. So whenever you see us on here, then you can be able to jump on.
Yeah, I think I'm not a big first-person shooter. Christina plays Fallout 76 sometimes, and I tried to get her to switch over to this to play, but she wasn't interested. We ended up getting a different game this week. What was it called? Trine 5? It's kind of like a side-scroller puzzle game. And we were playing, like we sit on the couch and it's like a couch scroller type and just play.
Indeed. So the text thing.
Yeah.
So over the last couple of months, I've been experimenting with Blender to try and do my text animations because I was experiencing the same thing as you. I had a whole lot of text I had to animate and it was killing my machine. Well, I opened it up in Blender, and I was shocked to find out it actually played almost perfectly for really complex sort of things. You can't do everything in it right now, but you can do a lot more than you used to. And there's some really neat things you can do with their new edition of geometry nodes. I would say that in terms of what After Effects can do probably about 80%, maybe 90%, and within the next year or two, it'll probably be able to do 100% of what After Effects can currently do. Is it more complex and a little bit more difficult? Absolutely. But I've been floored by just how fast it is by comparison. And it's working with full 3D scenes to do those effects as well.
Yeah, I saw that one you were making. It looked really cool. It really, I was impressed while watching it.
I finished it off stream and rendered it out, and it turned out it turned out really well. But there's some other things I did not put into it that I was like, oh wow, there's some really neat things I could be able to add to this. And so maybe I'll have to try it in the future, because I used to do text animations all the time, and then I got lax on it. There's too many other things to
The
try and animate.
The thing with like my pain work is that it's like I'm just a cog in the wheel kind of. Like there's a designer that works with like then a media house, and like it's kind of such a stupid workflow because like the designer designs everything inside of InDesign, and then they'll hand me the InDesign files, and I have to like then transfer everything over to Illustrator, and then I take it into After Effects and actually animate it. And like sometimes they're okay with like handing off Illustrator files, but they're print people, so they do InDesign. And
Print people that don't
Yeah.
use Illustrator? Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
well, they're like it's magazines and like for trade shows and stuff. But the reason I'm kind of stuck in the After Effects world is because like they're in the Adobe world, and like you can't. I don't know, like
It's hard to be able to do it when they kind of expect the files to be in that format.
yeah.
Yeah, I completely know that that challenge there. There was so I had to do a short commission the other week, in which I had to try and salvage an After Effects file that, and I don't have access to After Effects anymore, like I've mentioned before. I only use it for my like my work and whatnot, and that so it's not on my PC. Oh golly, I'm terrible with my accuracy right now. I'm so used to Hell Let Loose and Battlefield right now, and so the mechanics of this game feels very different. Taking me a while to get back into the hang of it. But so I opened up. Let's see here. After Effects. Oh yeah. So an After Effects template that was used, and the person that had done it was holding as like ransom, and so then I had to go in and try and salvage it, turn it into a Blender file, and then they could be able to do updates to it. And so it took a little while to do it, but when I came to the actual rendering phase, it went like twice as fast, if not 3 times as fast as the After Effects file did. And so that was a very interesting process, but man, it has taken me years to make that adjustment, and now I'm like addicted to this workflow.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Blender, I wish I would have, like, I kind of made the choice in the fork in the road way back where I kind of, like, I was like, okay, we'll try Blender, and I was learning it, and that's like, it was the free path, and we were trying it, and it was cool, but it was like still very early on. It was like, this was probably like 2007.
Oh
So
yeah,
it
that's
still
back
had,
when it was
like,
garbage.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was very cool for being free, but it was like, it didn't have the community behind it back then. Yeah, and because of that, I kind of got turned off to it. I'm like, I'm gonna play with like Max or Maya. I don't even know if Max and Maya are still around, to be honest with you. And then the problem with that was it was too expensive. So like my interest in 3D kind of got nixed.
Yeah, both Max and Maya are still around. They're still the top dogs of Autodesk, but yeah, they're still expensive.
Let me see what. Yeah, let me see what
They're more
going for
affordable
now.
than they used to be because they realize that Blender's eating into their profits. I believe Blender right now is the number 2 software in the world. I think it used to be Autodesk, Maya, and then Max, but now Blender's beat out Max, and now Autodesk is like, wait a minute, we got a problem here.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
I think Houdini's like,
I mean, everything's
really
it's still like everything is like the subscription based model stuff. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that stuff. Monthly subscription for Max is $255. That's a lot. That's a
And to
lot
think
of
like
money.
they would get so many people if they just had reduced the price.
Right, and that's what I mean. It literally like stopped me dead in my tracks on like pursuing that, because like I played with it for a couple years, and then when a client would come to me, I'd be like, yeah, it's going to cost this much. And they're like, we can't afford that. And I'm like, I understand. Let's do something else, And then eventually I was like, I can't justify like getting this,
Yeah. Now, when I went to college, I was told like, hey, you just focus on that's weird. Just focus on getting yourself familiar with Maya. You will be perfect, good to go. Yes, you can use Max, but Max is on its way out. Soft Image is being killed, and all these other software are being killed, but Maya's going to stay on top, so you better learn it because you're going to be working with it for the rest of your life. And then I looked at the price, and I was like, uh-oh. I went to my professor and advisor at the time and said, what am I going to do? This thing's like, I'm not going to be able to pay for this at all in any way, shape, or form. He said, don't worry, your commissions will start to pay for it. You just have to budget that in. So I started budgeting it in. But as you know, the industry crashed around that time.
Yeah, no one's got the money to pay that. Yeah, it's crazy.
So unfortunate.
Autodesk, though, did make the right decision on what's the program? Man, my brain's crapping out. It's the one I use for Fusion.
Oh, yeah.
Fusion, it's a free model, and that's cool. But once again, with the tinkering, like the engineering stuff, I made the wrong choice. And originally, I had kind of went with Autodesk Inventor, and they ended up phasing that out. But at least they have Fusion now, and it's for what I needed. It's perfect. And it's nice that it's free. And I wish it doesn't really matter for me anymore. I think I'm kind of like, I dabbled enough in the 3D and realized it's not for me. And even when we first started talking and you encouraged me to get Blender, I did. But after I opened it, I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot here.
It's a daunting one.
Patience for this. I think you have to hit it at a right time in your life too. Like if you're after a certain age, I think that your brain just is like, nope, not learning more stuff.
I can definitely understand that. For me, it was out of necessity. So my switch to it began when, so I at least had the foundation of first Lightwave and then Maya. And then Blender came along. And I was like, this thing's garbage. No one will ever use this. My roommate was like, hey, you better start using it. It's going to replace all your other software one day. And I was like, that's impossible. And I mocked him so much. And then suddenly, lo and behold, here I am using it on just about every single project now for something. Even for the, for like logos now, I'm starting that look like they're vector. I'm starting to actually do those in 3D as well. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, I did it because Adobe almost got me fired, and I had so many problems with it. I was just like, I gotta find something else, and so it was a very long 5-year process of switching over, and it was painful because the documentation for Blender was not very good, and so now this is I'm in like my third year of actually being a professional in that field, even though so it took me 5 years to build up to it, and 3 years to actually feel like I can do stuff with it.
Yeah, it's really developed. It's nice because it's abnormal the way it's developed in such a, usually like 3 things will be like, oh yeah, that's good, it's free, take it for what it's worth. But like that, well, I mean, it's like, they use it top tier. Like it's not like it's like it's just a great program. Like a lot of creative people came together and did something great.
Well, there's some things though that I still miss deeply about After Effects, and the layering system,
the lag, and
I miss
the
that.
crashing. The hours of life lost, like looking at a loading or a buffering screen.
Well, there's that too. But oh my goodness, I miss the layer system though. Like I have
Oh yeah.
treating it like a painting in that sense, being able to layer things perfectly and not have to worry about the node system for every little thing. That
Yeah.
is super frustrating to me, that because it's not easy to kind of figure out, and sometimes node systems just get to be such an utter mess. You just wish that you could layer it so you know what's on the bottom and what's on the top.
Yeah. The problem is though with After Effects and the layer system, like at first glance it seems awesome, but like when you get like deep into a project, sometimes like rendering, like you don't realize why it's doing something it shouldn't be doing. Like it'll, and like I've been using it for years and I'll still forget, like you have to do this before you do this, and then it'll work properly, like just speaking like generally. But it's not as, like in concept it's cool, but I feel like it was cooler back years ago, but I feel like it's gotten worse now because they've made it more complex, and like there's certain, like you got to remember to do this before you do this, and then But I with the node system, I remember it slightly in or no, I don't remember it using it but there in Godot, there's like a node system that I'm starting to get used to, and it's pretty cool. Like I mean, all of Godot is kind of nodes, and essentially. But
Godot's a lot of fun to work with, but there's some things in it that just drove me crazy.
Oh, I'm saying it wrong. Godot. Godot.
Oh yeah.
Godot.
Well, it's tough because I've heard people say it both ways for so long that I say Godot just because that was the first time I heard it, but I know that I think the official way is Godot.
Yeah, Godot. I always say Godot. It's so.
I mean, they put a T in it, so. I mean, it's their own fault. It's like the person who said GIF is supposed to be pronounced GIF, and then someone else said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I remember having arguments about pronunciation back at college, and I told folks, because we were trying to come up with names and saying, if you don't want people to mispronounce it, you have to foolproof it. You have to spell it out just right so you don't have issues. It's amazing how many times that's come back to like backfire on people, especially when they're like trying to write a story and they have a character and they're like, this character's name is supposed to be like Bartholomic or something like that. It's like, why did you make it such a mouthful? No one's going to remember that. And I've seen that in a lot of people trying to make high fantasy, and they don't understand what made like Lord of the Rings so successful in terms of like naming convention.
Right, we're very Sam, Frodo, like very simple. Like it don't let the name get in the way of the character.
Precisely.
Yeah. Hey Jeff, I'm gonna let the dog out. I'm still here, but I gotta let him out. I'm getting ready to call it a night, but I'm still here. Like keep streaming. I'll be right back.
I just realized Breath of Edda said got 1.18 thousand subs. Wow. That's a lot. Well done. The world of online is changing. And one of the things that has been changing a lot is the finances of the web. A lot of people are getting out. I've been saying that for 3 years now. I'm trying to be the kind of heads up to something that's very real. Many people are getting out of this industry. I'm not doing this for a living, so I don't technically count myself as part of the industry, even though I've been streaming for 3 years. Did I just pass the anniversary and didn't even think about it? Wow. Things have changed. It's been sobering, honestly. Been thinking a lot about some of those things over the last few months of not doing the gaming and whatnot. Okay, what does these books do? Okay, those books do nothing. Someone is here. Come on in the door. Where are you? Oh, you're a bot. Or maybe not. Acted a little bit like a bot. Just like you, Yoda. Yeah, stop heckling me, Yoda. Stop laughing. I'm gonna do some of these streams in character again. Been a while since I did that. Oof. Dang. You guys got wicked aim. It's the demon. Darn it. Should have taken that demon out. Just so you know, folks, we're not going to be going on for like super late for tonight. This is the introduction sort of stuff to this. We're getting back into the swing of things. But if you see something or hear something along the way that you think was worthwhile, would you consider liking the stream? And if not, feel free to dislike it. Leave a comment of things that you would like to see improved. Because, you know what? I'm willing to at least acknowledge it and try and improve. May not be able to do it for everything. Like, there were some people, they were saying about all these things I needed to do for the gaming side of things, and I tried some of them, and I backed off because I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I don't always act upon the requests that people make, but I try and do as much of it as I can.
All right, Jeff, back.
Welcome back, sir.
It's nasty outside. Ugh, November weather in Ohio.
Yeah. Wet and windy?
It's cold and muddy. But
yeah,
you'll have that. You'll have it.
That muddiness, I'm not a fan of.
Have you ever had a pet, like a dog or a cat? Or...
Personally, I've not had an animal. My family has had many pets throughout the years, and we had a dog growing up. Parents had a dog in the as well when I was in my college years, so I've been around several pets. Had a guinea pig that one of the best traveled guinea pigs in the world. Traveled all across the U.S. on 3 different road trips. Traveled over to Europe and then traveled to Alaska, and then it was nice. A ridiculous journey for that poor guinea pig, and she lived a long time too. Also had several cats over the years as well. But yeah.
Do you think you'll ever get it? Yeah, my dog is he's half wolf. That's like Wolfie Bank is inspired by him.
So basically you got Balto.
Balto?
Yeah, do you know about Balto?
No. Balto?
The husky that was half wolf, and a very important figure in terms of Alaskan history, because he was very useful in helping to save the village of Nome. There's an animated film out there called Balto. I highly suggest watching it. It's a good one.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's one of the pinnacles of animation, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just biased because it's Alaska as well. But it is very well done.
It looks like it's on. No, you have to rent it.
You can usually find it in the bargain bin at stores.
I'm watching a clip of it right now. There was one that was like this. What was it? It wasn't Balto, but it was something. It was an Alaskan dog. It's funny though. The reason I bring it up is just because I let Trip out. But man, him being in my life has like improved it tremendously.
Pets can be
That's amazing.
Big bonus to life.
I don't know if it's like the wolf in him or whatever, but like I've never seen a dog act the way he does. Like, just like 2 weeks ago, I was letting him out and it was late and it was like a surprisingly clear night here in Ohio. And like the sky was beautiful that night. And he sat down in the yard and like literally like looked up at the moon and at the stars and just like sat there and was like looking up at the sky. And I'm like, what kind of dog does that? Like, and he could have sat out there all night and looked at him. But it's interesting. It's a good dog.
Dogs can be absolutely great, and in my personal opinion, ones that have a little bit of wolf in them definitely have a lot of great attributes that we kind of forget about because we're so used to modern dogs where they've been kind of inbred so much to where they're not even dogs anymore in many ways. They start to resemble more of rats at times. But a half wolf is just has another level of kind of like primalness to it. That's
well, it's funny because I thought he like when I found out he was a wolf, I thought he was gonna be like real fierce or whatever, but it's the exact opposite. He's like super, like if it rains, like he gets scared, he's like very timid. And I mean he's very friendly with people, but like not what I was expecting at all. Like Christina has a German Shepherd, and like prior to getting my dog, like we had that one first. It was like this like just very guard dog, kind of like good for guarding. And then we got Trip, and it was like a totally different, different experience. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm happy that he's in my life.
I remember seeing that apparently if you were to take all dog breeds and basically systematically try and get an average to all of them, they would look like dingoes. Whoa, that thing's...
I read a crazy stat on dogs a couple weeks ago. Something about someone had posted something about like pit bulls, and I'm thinking, oh man, because I'm not a big fan of pit bulls, but
they can get mean.
Like the stats on it, it's like a type of attacks that like happen to people with pit bulls. Like the stats on it are insane. Like it's like 3 times more than like any other dog. I think the German Shepherd was like the second like most quote unquote dangerous dog or whatever. But it's a guard dog. Like you kind of like know what you're getting with. Like you're not going to be like sitting with a German Shepherd and it like suddenly attacks you like kind of like a pit bull does.
I had a relative has a German Shepherd, and first time that I saw the dog lowered its head and lowered its ears. I was sitting on the floor, and it just comes up, kind of slinking. I was like, okay, this is not a good situation. I didn't know what to make of it. And then as the dog gets near, it lowers itself right near my arm and then flips up my hand so it goes on the back of its neck, and then it's all happy. And so I'm like, what a weird behavior for a dog. It just wanted to sneak up and get pet. But then it was like, it was like the perfect dog after that. But it just was so careful about wanting to ask for attention. They are great animals, but pit bulls, oh my goodness. I have heard, so I get very nervous about people that get those sorts of dogs because you're right. They have a very big violent record. And the problem is that their violence tends to be against innocents or against their owners. And so I've heard about stories where they turn on their owners and then they consume their owners. And so that when I heard that, I was like, nope, I'm never getting one of those critters.
Right. There like a horrible story about how some lady, like, I don't know, like well, we don't have to repeat it, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Just in the news this week, there was a guy that he's like the owner of like a shelter around here, and he's always in the news like with like fundraisers for his thing and stuff. And I guess this week he got attacked by a pit bull, and like he almost died. Like it showed like it went for his neck, and it was like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'll stick to shepherds primarily, and labs second.
Yeah, my first dog was a lab, a black lab. Good dog too.
All dogs will reflect their owners, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are really, really bad owners.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that want to be owners that can't. Like me, I would love to have a dog. I would love to have a cat, but I do not have a place where I could leave them. And I feel miserable having to leave them in a small apartment throughout the day. They would hate life, and sure, could it be better than some other places for an animal? Absolutely. But at the same time, it would not be fair to the critter. And so, one day I'll have Trip.
With Trip, it's when I go somewhere, like when I go to work on the house, he is actually a work dog. He's at the job site with me. He's very good. Like, it was scary though. A couple weeks ago, like this house we're working on, a pit bull came up to like walked in the yard, and I was like, oh my goodness, like what's going on with this? And like luckily, and it was still warm out, so like the door was open because like I was carrying stuff out, like just work stuff. Like you leave the door open, just walking in and out all day long. And luckily I saw it and closed the door before anything happened. Scary.
A pet that I would actually have probably would really like to have, but I know it'd be highly impractical, would actually be a raven. Very very difficult to try and get something like that, but they're incredibly smart birds.
Yeah, I think it would be neat.
They also have the best vocal abilities of any bird. They make parrots look like very simple by comparison, but they're very they're so smart. They know, like they will not obey like commands to just speak blindly. You have to really have their trust before they'll do anything.
Yeah,
I cannot find anything.
But I have chickens too. I don't know if you know that. Chickens and a raven are like totally different.
Yeah, one you can eat and one you wouldn't dare touch.
Right. Yeah, right.
Hey, greetings there, Sherwin. How you doing? I reposted it. Indeed. How's your day been going? Yeah, oh. Yeah, that's interesting. I've known a couple of people that have said like they've had ravens, and they're quite fascinating birds to have. Oof. And so maybe it's just that it'd be fun for it to be in Alaska, and then just have the raven go out into the wilderness, come back whenever it wants. Maybe I'll just try and feed a raven until finally I can win its trust.
I think it would be cool to also to have a hawk too, like like a falconry or falcon or whatever that would be neat. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it would. That crew would be a bit of a handful, but it still would be pretty neat.
Is there a lot of ravens up where you're at? Or?
Oh yeah, ravens galore. They kind of take over when the winter comes, and so right
Really?
now
I
there
figured
are ravens everywhere.
Huh.
And they're big ravens too. I think our ravens are like 10-20% larger than the average raven.
Like we don't even have them around, and we have like crows, I guess, kind of, but not ravens. They're different, right? The crows.
Oh
and
yeah,
ravens.
yeah. Crows are
Maybe.
nuisances by comparison. Ravens are smart, intelligent, and they're one of the few animals that will actually seek out enjoyment for the fun of it. So like they'll go to the top of a snow hill and they will just slide down it because it's fun to them. And they'll fly up to the top of it and then do that whole process again. Oh, no. Oh, that was close. And they'll also, they can be quite troublesome too. They also like to toy with other creatures and get amusement out of toying with them. So they'll go up and like, I think crows do this too. But they'll go up and peck at an animal and watch them get irritated and attack another animal, and then they'll just be laughing from the side. They're just there to cause animosity, you could say.
I don't think I've ever seen a raven in life. Look it up.
Well, if you ever travel to Alaska, you will be guaranteed to see eagles and ravens. Those birds are everywhere.
Yeah, the beaks were way different than what I'm used to seeing. There was unfortunately one of my chickens got taken maybe 2 weeks ago now. There's a goal, or it was a big, I think it was an eagle that took it. And I wasn't even, usually I'm pretty good with it, but they were in the yard and the eagle came and got one of them.
That's unfortunate. There's
I think we started
a
out-
lot of predators
we started
of chickens, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you kind of get mad about it, but at the same time you're like, well, it's the circle of life, I suppose.
Yeah.
That,
That's one of the
And
reasons
it's
why I'm
kinda-
not a big fan of like letting pets roam around the neighborhood, which unfortunately Alaska allows to happen too much. And there's people like, hey, if you do that, your pet may never come back. This is Alaska.
Yeah,
We got bears, we got eagles, we got wolves, and some people believe we got some big cats up here. Although there's some people that like to debate that. If nothing else, we have lynx, which are also very powerful creatures. So yeah, it's a tough state to have critters just kind of go out and about. But some people really want to allow their critter to roam. And a lot of people lose their animals, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was like, I kind of know that like when the leaves go away, like to kind of watch, but it was kind of, the leaves were still on the trees like halfway, and I think it must have, they must have caught the attention or something.
What the heck is this? A storm of donuts?
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm thinking
That
what
is
going on.
so weird. That's probably what someone's stomach looks like when they start eating a dozen.
Right.
Well, that's quite the sight. Okay, swap vehicles. Falling food, watch out. Nah, I don't care about falling food.
Anyways, I should probably call it a night. It's getting pretty late here.
Right. Well, good chatting with you.
Thanks for hanging
Have
out.
a good evening, sir.
Yeah, if I don't talk to you, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and it was good talking to you.
Indeed. All right. We'll
Okay.
chat with you later, sir.
Take care.
Wolfie Bank, everybody. Things are going well with you, Sherwin. Perfect. Well, right now I am not doing so well in terms of getting back into the swing of playing this game. I am not used to the game dynamics of this right now. I am way out of practice. I used to do this every week. Well, you can see what happens after 3 months of not playing this game. You get very pitiful by comparison from what you used to be. But that being said, we're going to be doing this now for the next few weeks. It's from basically the holiday season. We're going to do this more than once a week. So for people that have an interest, this is going to be an availability for you to be able to jump in and participate. Not on all of them, and we got to be more careful about the voice chat thing. But it is something where people do have the ability to participate, and you'll at least be able to work with a ping system, and you'll be able to hear those that do have the permissions to speak. And if you want to be able to speak in the future, then you just have to have a conversation beforehand so I know what sort of person you are. Because we don't want to have something happen which causes issues, to put it lightly. Well, very soon we're going to have another item you can be able to get as a mailable item. So currently we have these stickers. These stickers have been were printed a while back. I have not figured out how to put them onto like an online store or anything like that, because these are giveaways. They're not meant to be, but yet I don't have yet a way to be able to do it. I'm trying to figure that out, and there's not been enough interest in them to really stress about it. So I'm just kind of holding on to them until I get a better idea about what to do moving forward. It's a dumb dance. But we're going to have a couple of other items coming out. And one of them is related to the story that I recently wrote. And so I hope to be able to share out with you very soon. I worked on the prototype. It looks like it's going to work. And I didn't want to publicize this one a whole lot just because I just wanted to see what it would be like, because this is going to impact some of the ideas moving forward. Let's see what else is going on here. We're going to be doing some more of the artwork for coming up this next week. I'm going to get back into the swing of doing the drawing for the Milo drawing. That one has been put on hold because I had a lot of things I was trying to juggle, and now I'm going to try and finish it because it is so very close to being done, and I just need to finalize it so I can move on to the next big task. I wanted to do it really nicely because this is going to be part of promotional material moving up. Haven't played in over a year. Yeah, it's a different game. I can definitely say that. I liked the game dynamics a year ago. I'm not a big fan of it right now. But I'm hoping that with the update next week that it will finally go back to being something more favorable to my playstyle. Only mustard. And lead, apparently. Whoa, no. I know that sound. Give me that. Oh, wow. Thank you. He was so accommodating. All right, now I have a chance. I work with gimmick items. Come back here, you piggy. Oh, that was close. Gotta get out. Oh, that was very, very close. I need some shield. Any shield in the house? Nope. Oh, that's not good. Ooh! Get me out of here! Get me out of Dodge! Good thing this thing it has some speed on it. That was so very close. Okay. I mean, there's no health and shield anywhere. And this is not going to do anything. Just gives me a... Oh, here we go. Ah, darn it. I should have ran. I used to be able to get 20 kills a match when I used to play this all the time. Yeah, about the same here. When I was at my peak was when the hammer was prevalent, and I could get 15, 20, no problem. Nowadays, a lot more difficult. I don't have auto-aim. And I rely so much on melee weapons and grappling weapons. When the grapple blade was out, ooh, I was very skilled with that one. I won't say that I was the best, but I was pretty high up there in terms of skill, and it drove some people crazy. But I understood the tactic with that. Oh, I missed that item. And other people couldn't figure it out. So I got a chance to benefit off it when other people could not. I love the Avatar abilities. Oh, they were so much fun. I hope they bring it back, because I thrived off of it. That was when Fortnite was at its most fun. When there's gimmick items. When it's just bland old weapons, who cares? It's the same weapon over and over again, just different skins. I want to see different abilities. I want this to feel kind of like Super Smash Brothers, where you have all sorts of neat things you can do. Sure, you can have the common stuff for the people that really want it, but I want the unique items, the ones that stand out. I also miss the Japanese map. It was a lot of fun to do that one. This horrible looking cartoon world looks ugly. Ugh. I am not a fan of The Simpsons, nor am I a fan of Family Guy or any of the other adult cartoons out there. It's hideous. It's ugly. It's designed to be unsettling. And yes, that was actually what the original creators of this art style kind of wanted. They wanted things to be edgy, things that become too smooth, too clean. And then the animation world was upset by this idea that art was supposed to be upsetting. And then they created the TV show SpongeBob as a direct attempt to try and epitomize this, to realize this new philosophy of art. And then it just got worse from there. And so I have a very bad opinion about this sort of art because it destroyed the artistic world that I was hoping to be able to get involved with growing up. I wanted desperately to become an artist, to become an animator, and I was ready to put in the time and effort to become one. And it didn't happen. Am I better about it? Yes. Does that color my opinions on the art style that we currently are looking at right now? Yeah. But it's also based upon the idea of that there's beauty in this world. And to have something that's unsettling, it's designed to be against kind of nature in that sense and how it's designed, really, really upsets me. I want there to be something that you look at and actually say, wow, that's great artwork. I was living in Japan at the time that the American cartoon revolution took place, and we went from having high quality cartoons and movies, and then it all devolved. And I came back right after the whole transformation had taken place. I left watching the movie Tarzan, and I came back to seeing SpongeBob and a lot of other very bad cartoons. It was a real shame. Okay, how do I get down here? Jump on the spikes. That's so stupid. These things are supposed to hurt you, and yet you can just grab them, and it saves you from damage. Ridiculous. I wish they would actually make those things hurt you in this game. They really shouldn't make that happen. Okay. Get these silly keys. I got no idea what I'm supposed to do with these keys now. Enter a any vehicle. Okay. Enter a vehicle. Oh, how about this vehicle? This is a vehicle, right? Too bad. Ooh, a big pile of rubbish. When I was getting started with the streaming, this is one of the games that became a staple of the channel. We tried a couple other ones too, but the community was very much fascinated with this game, and so it became the go-to for the streams. I'm not good at it. I definitely know that, and I have definitely gotten worse over time. Tire yard. Ugh. But it does have its good moments. You're a... Oh, no, you are not a bot. Oh, that was close. Oh, I should have used this to begin with. Ridiculous. There we go. Let's just try and break the window. The other game that was the staple of the channel was Red Dead. I have missed that, but the game had to come to an end. We were reaching a point of repetition, and it was supposed to be story-driven. And when it was no longer story-driven, then it started becoming problematic, because then I was like, well, we're going to start repeating our narrative, and I wanted the character to grow and to move on. The character was not meant to grow and move on. He was actually supposed to be a one and done. And then suddenly people showed interest in him, and they want to see him more. So I've been working on a way to continue his story, and I think I may have actually figured out how to do it. And if so, then that means that the return of Milo may actually be way sooner than expected, but will not be in game form. Too bad you can't get into this. What the heck? Such weird sounds you make. Oh, I'm terrible with my accuracy. I'm trying this because I want to see if I can get better at my accuracy. Doberman, hey? Uh-huh. Yeah, nothing of worth. Oh. Well, now. You can now put this into the radio station, huh? Testing 1, 2, 3. Broadcast completed. Wow, that was a pointless broadcast. Grab this item and get the updated one. Okay, perfect. Swap that out and ready to rumble. Oh, there's that storm of donuts again. That's weird. That's the other thing about a lot of this, a lot of the modern cartoons that took place after the 2000s. There's a lot of nonsense in it, and I very much like logic. Can you have fantasy? Absolutely, but this is just stupid. Oh, but it's so clever. It's a donut-shaped cloud, and donuts are falling out of it. And donuts are part of Homer's world, and so that's perfect. No, it's not. It's not clever at all. This could have been anything. Spaghetti's falling out of the sky. Oh, the character loves spaghetti. Oh, spaghetti's everywhere in the story. That's not clever. You're just mashing ideas together and calling it innovation. Oh! That hideous clown. Yeah, you build that little structure of yours. You're just a bot. Come on. Ow. Dagnabbit. Well, I'm terrible with my accuracy right now. Sure, was I lucky a little bit? Absolutely. But I was not super lucky. Why can't I not fire? Okay, that was weird. Phooey. Well, I did better, but not quite up to my old skills yet. Hopefully I get up to speed before we have our group games. Anyway, I think I'll go with one more, then we'll call it there. One more full game, as we usually do. Take a quick look over here. Okay, that is operational. I've had a couple of glitches. So I need to make sure to double check those before the next stream. Well, something happened that surprised me. So my website went down. I maxed out the usage for the month. I did not keep very close record of what was going on between the months. It's a little weird because I had the least amount of traffic that I've ever had, and I maxed it out. So I got to go back and either optimize the website or try and figure out if I got spammed by bots. My website is not super interesting. It's not like I get a whole bunch of people that are just randomly coming across it. In fact, I'd be amazed if anybody even goes to it like more than, like even people that are aware of it more than like twice a year. There's not like a whole lot of people that are like super engaged with it. So for it to max out makes me think that there's something amiss. And if so, then I got to try and fix that because it does become quite expensive to try and correct. Oh, one more place I haven't seen. Oh yeah, it's middle of the map. No big surprise there. Okay, we got it now. What freaky character. Abomination. Close one. They almost got that chainsaw up and running. Eat a burger. Whatever he's saying. What a dumb character. Designed to be a humiliation. That's right. No one wants you. You're worthless. You're trash. You're designed to be an embodiment of people's twisted views on what a father's supposed to be. I disagree with that. It really does sicken me, honestly, the character that they've created of Homer and his, because it's designed to push a propaganda. I used to not think that, and then I became more aware of it. I was like, wow, it really is true. I think it's pretty powerful. Yeah, just cut through everything. Cut through the competition. Give me the speed of a chainsaw. What a dumb run. I don't remember the run being that exaggerated. Wunderbar. Well, I'm doing much better than previous times. 4 so far. I need to get the dub counter up and running again, but I kind of didn't want to do it because it, well, I had it figured out, there just wasn't much interest in people wanting to use it, so I didn't bother to activate it. There's a lot of things I developed that I don't actually use, or things I start to use and I just use it for kind of my own stuff and I don't actually share it with others. It's far more than I would like to admit. But you sometimes need to experiment with projects like that, because you don't know if they're going to be successful or not, and you just gotta kind of do it, and then if it works, then great. What are the movies showing at this place? Vindicators. Fast and the Furious. Disney Plus. Hey, look. Product placement. Gee, doesn't this just feel like somebody is intentionally trying to get people to go to Disney Plus? Shoot. I should have swerved. Should have swerved. Well, that technically counts as a full game in my book. 19th. Not bad. Yeah, you keep bobbing up and down. Show us your skills and how your knees still work, unlike mine. Well, on that note, folks, we're going to bring this stream to an end. We'll be back tomorrow on the Castercraft channel as we do more artwork. If you are not on the Castercraft side, that is where I spend the majority of the week. Not so much as of late, but, you know, that's where the majority of the streams take place. Definitely where most of the hours of streaming goes. It's where I also tell the majority of my stories. If you have an interest in that sort of stuff, consider taking a look at that. If you need to find out where that is, that should be in the description. And if not, then, well, then I have messed up something and I need to correct that in the future. But just Castercraft is what it is in the Rumble as well as YouTube side. Right now, we're also streaming to X. It's not really been all that beneficial, but I got tired of the nonsense happening with Twitch, so I jumped ship on Twitch, and we're going to make X work one way or the other. Although I do know that not a whole lot of people use X for watching. They'll use it for streaming, but they won't really use it for the watching stuff. So I just kind of let it go. But what the? It looks like we actually had some interaction on the X side today. That's actually a little surprising. Why does not show if that is actually true or not? Anyway, well, we're going to be calling it there. Have a pleasant evening and morning, everybody. Just a reminder to you, one and all, be civil to one another. And we will see you next time, whenever that is. By the way, if you haven't read Pharaoh the Smith, consider reading it. It really is a thought-provoking story. And some people have found it engaging and interesting, and others have just found it as a pastime. But anyway, you can find that on the website, and there is a better version that will be coming out for those that are not so fond of the current format for it. Anyway, until next time, folks, have a very pleasant evening.